How you guys going? This is a video for relationships, or creating spiritual relationships, or just creating your own spiritual relationships in terms of what that means for you. But I want to hold a phrase for people so people can understand when it comes to just relationships or spiritual relationships. I suppose when you use the term spiritual relationships, I'd probably put it in the context of you guys focusing on things that are much more deeper and richer to use in your relationship rather than things that are more superficial and stuff like this. So when it comes to some of the strategies to use in regards to creating your own spiritual relationships, it's always going to come from more of a soul place, nourishing your soul, your heart, your mind, seeding or fertilizing good thoughts, inspiring yourself and your partner, or whatever kind of spiritual relationships. Because spiritual relationships don't necessarily have to come in a romantic form. They can come in, just in a typical maybe your birth family, I should say. In terms of friends, it come in a whole bunch of different things. But when it comes to spiritual relationships, I always focus more on the positive side of spiritual relationships rather than the whole negative, sort of dark, controlling, abusive, dysfunctional kind of relationships. When we talk about spiritual relationships, from my perspective, it's more about creating functional relationships that everybody's happy and everybody is working on themselves and growing and helping support people and always being around the right kind of people. This is always the number one priority. Spiritual relationships where they uplift you rather than drain you. This is something that's really important. They add nourishment, they add upliftment, inspiration, not only to yourself but to everyone around you. It's a relationship that inspires you. A strategy that is very simple and very basic is basically a prayer, or an affirmative prayer. A prayer where you affirm the same things over and over again. Now, whenever, just a quick kavita, I suppose, just a quick lesson for people is to understand that when you are doing prayers and things of this nature, or, moving into any of these spiritual type of strategies, never do that for anybody else. Always do it for yourself. If you're going to do anything for anybody else, it always must come from the place of permission first. So if you're going to move into things like magic and spells and prayers and affirmations and incantations and invoking in terms of emotions within yourself, always do it for yourself. When it comes to other people, you only ever do it if you get permission first. This is something that's really important, because this moves into mind control and mind programming and all these sorts of information like this. So a very simple strategy is based on affirmative prayer, where you both, let's just say for hypothetically, there's only a couple, there's only two of you, and you're affirming a particular kind of relationship style or dynamic that you like. That you repeat that over and over again in terms of a prayer. You can have a time period. You could do it 20 minutes a day. You could do transcendental meditation, it's called, with a vision and with a mantra that goes with that. You could do it in a relaxed. It always should be done with a relaxed peace of mind, because the more relaxed you are, then the more that it can sink down into your subconscious mind. It's about programming this in your subconscious mind, not in somebody else's. So when it comes to two people and doing these sorts of stuff in regards to programming your subconscious mind and the kind of relationships that you both want to have, always make sure that there is power in numbers. And in the Bible, there's a phrase in regards to when two of you agree, it shall be done. So you can look at that in terms of the conscious and subconscious mind. You can look at that in terms of two people. But there's just more power that gets circulated between those sorts of prayers and things of this nature. So I just want to leave this as a very simple strategy in terms of creating a spiritual relationship. The affirmative prayer can be anything that inspires you. Hypothetically, for example, you guys may want to bring a more peaceful relationship, or a more loving or more romantic, and you may want to couple these things. How descriptive you get is always up to you, but whenever you focus on phrases and words, they're always going to mean something to you. And the more that you put energy into that, law of attraction, like attracts like, you're going to vibrate the answers and solutions that are going to help solve your particular relationship, to grow it and nourish it. So this is just a quick strategy in regards to spiritual relationships and creating spiritual relationships where you both agree as a number one priority. And from that point, I'm going to leave that with you guys as a quick foundation, just to something that can really excite you and change the relationships that you have around you. But from this point, I'll leave it there and wish you all the best.